capital Harare and are both fascinated with the natural world beyond the cities.
Thank you very much. It's good to have you, Blessing. What an interesting title. Only this once, are you immaculate? What is this all about?
Well, I've just been exploring our life in the metaphysical. When I set out, I wanted to create characters that were superheroes, characters that had never ever been limited or placed within the human constructs that we live with. I wanted to imagine what it would be like if a human...
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Balance, if you like, between good causes and what the shareholders, the owners of the business receive is one that will keep the National Lottery brand at the forefront of the public's minds. It needs to be seen to be a fair share.
It's been suggested by one or two commentators that Camelot's become over-reliant on scratch cards. How big a part of the offer would scratch cards be for you?
Well, the data is clear that scratch cards have taken over in terms of their importance. It's back to my earlier point about fewer people playing. Of course, scratch cards are potentially where harmful play lies. Only recently, Camelot were pressured, I think is a fair observation, into raising the age for scratch cards to 18. Again, I can only point to what we do in other markets. The live draws and other draw-based games are the heart of our operations in all other markets. Scratch cards do play a part, but using the capability of digital technology, we make the amount of play that is entirely anonymous, the buying of scratch cards by people whom the operator doesn't know, a very small part of the total proposition. It's a very big part of the proposition in the lottery today in the UK under Camelot stewardship.
What safeguards are you offering or promising to try and keep gambling addiction to a minimum?
Well, fundamentally, at the heart of that is the use of technology and to much reduce anonymous play. As we can show in the other markets that we operate to the highest standards of safety. All of the world conventions, European and world conventions on safe play and lotteries, we meet and beat. Indeed, we've been at the forefront of developing those in the various organisations that set these hurdles. But anonymity is where challenge lies, and therefore using technology to ensure that most of your players and the type of play that they take part in are known to you, so that you can manage at early doors any signs of problem pay. And that's what we've successfully done in the other markets in which we operate.
Now, it's been reported that should you be unsuccessful in your bid, you've got lawyers on standby to seek a judicial review. Can you say anything on that?
Well, again, what I can tell you is I'm sure that in the case of all the bidders, they'll be scrutinising the decision the Gambling Commission made closely. It is not unusual in these kind of public procurement type processes for judicial reviews to take place. That's when usually it's the losing party believes the process hasn't been fair. But we believe the decision is still to be made. It's a couple of weeks to go. It's important that the Gambling Commission are allowed to complete their process, and then I'm sure all bidders will look at the decision they make and see if they feel it's been made fairly in accordance with the rules of the competition.
All right, Justin. Well, look, before we let you go, it's obviously a very inflationary period right now. I wonder if you were still CEO of Sainsbury's, how you'd be running the business and navigating it through this sort of period of price increases.
Well, it's a long time since I was CEO of Sainsbury's, and I'm not going to comment specifically on how they're doing. But the job of a supermarket is to represent customers. There are a lot of pressures in the supply chain. We discussed those at great length. You have, I'm sure. And the job of the supermarket is to push back on those, to hold them down. I don't think it's possible to keep inflation out of the system. My own view is that we're going to see something between 5 and 10% for a good year or so yet, because the pressures are real and they are not going away. But pushing back on those price rises, holding back on them. And of course, I think you should expect, it's not happened yet, a good bit of a spurt in price competition, if I can put it that way, because it's clear that household budgets are coming under pressure, and when that happens, price competition usually follows.
All right, Justin, got to leave it there. Great to catch up with you this morning. Thank you.
Likewise, thank you.
Well, still to come here on Ian King Live, we'll be taking a look at how global markets are starting this Monday morning. Don't go away.
I'm Inzamam Rashid and I'm Sky's North of England correspondent. We give a voice to communities often unheard and unserved from a region with a distinct history and global impact.
Crawford and I'm Sky's special correspondent based in Istanbul.
Well, after an awful week for equity markets last week, stocks in the Asia-Pacific region saw more of the same overnight. The Nikkei in Tokyo finished down by just over 0.75%, while Hong Kong and Mumbai were also lower. Shanghai unchanged there. Sydney eked out a very modest gain. Nothing much to write home about, though, it has to be said. Well, in Europe, stocks initially took heart from news that Joe Biden may meet with Vladimir Putin, but it's been pretty mixed ever since then. As you can see, here's the current picture. The CAC 40 in France and the MIB in Milan in negative territory, the IBEX in Madrid and the DAX in Germany more or less unchanged right now. Well, here in London, the FTSE 100, which of course on Friday suffered its biggest one-day fall since November, is just about in positive territory, up 1/5 of 1% right now, led by the banking stocks. NatWest is the leading percentage gainer as it continues to attract interest after Friday's results. Barclays and HSBC are also among the leading top 10 blue chip gainers right now. Meanwhile, AstraZeneca, its shares are up 1.5%. That's on news that Enhertu, which is its cancer drug, has been shown to extend the lives of patients with breast cancer. Potentially very exciting development for AstraZeneca, now up 1.75%, in fact. Among the blue chip fallers, nothing too specific to talk about, but the tool and plant hire group Ashtead is off some 2% on broker comment. Outside the FTSE 100, the airport services operator John Menzies is ahead by 0.5%. That's after it would be Kuwaiti buyer raised its offer to £558 million, which a company has said it's minded to accept. But the subprime lender Morses Group, look, its share, I can't show you the share price on the screen, but its shares are off 63% on a profits warning and news that its chief executive has quit unexpectedly. Well, the foreign exchange markets, which is what you can see on the screen right now, the pound continuing to enjoy a little bit of support after Friday's better than expected retail sales figure. Sterling ahead by over 1/3 right now against the US dollar, more or less unchanged right now against the euro. Meanwhile, the oil price, well, that's little change, to be honest, as the market awaits developments in Ukraine. A barrel of Brent crude right now will cost you $93.50 a barrel. As I say, that is more or less unchanged right now. BT is investing £30 million in the British startup Distributed, which provides on-demand teams of freelance tech workers. The partnership is the first of its kind for BT, and Distributed is the first investment by BT's digital startup Amplifier. Well, joining me now is Callum Adamson. He's co-founder and CEO of Distributed. Callum, welcome to you. What does BT's backing mean for you?
It means everything to us, but it means more to our freelancers, right? The contractors we work with. It means even more democratic access to opportunity for them. They can work on really high profile technology deliveries that impact the lives of millions.
How much do these tech freelancers earn by and large? Is it possible to say?
It's a wide range. It depends on level of experience, the specific area that they work in. But generally, entry level, about 30K all the way up to, Netflix pays some of their software developers $1 million a year, basic.
$1 million a year, crikey! I'm in the wrong job. And what's your cut of that? What do you take from that?
I can't actually speak about our margins right now, but I'd say it's commensurate with the value we provide from the Distributed platform. We basically orchestrate the air traffic control dance of using freelancers or contractors at scale within the enterprise. And it's that technology that, our customers value.
Now, one of the attractions for BT is that it's going to be able to in future to tap into this sort of bench of professionals that you have. Can you be sure that isn't going to be at the expense of your other clients?
Yeah, of course. We don't have favorites in our customers. All customers are using Distributed to tap into not just the UK's contract development community, but the world's contractor development community, and that's being driven by the talent war that's currently raging in every country on earth. Our developers always opt into the work they do. It's not up to us to place them.
And in terms of BT's involvement in the business, they get a board seat, they obviously take an equity stake in the business. Are you able to say roughly what sort of size of stake they'll have in you going forward?
Yeah, it's a minority share. It's not insignificant, and they do get the board seat with it. But we have a board member that's been solving people problems for the best part of 25 years at scale. So we welcome that additional expertise.
Now, before you set up this business, you were actually a professional musician. What prompted this change of career?
I was an amateur musician.
I read some of you were a professional. What instruments did you play?
I got paid for it. If you class a free drink and a couple of packets of crisps as payment. But it was always on the side of me building technology products. I've been building in tech and been part of the startup scene for 20 years now. It just so happens that, we played country music in bars effectively. We got a little bit popular at the same time Mumford & Sons got popular.
You can still knock out a tune though, Callum.
Sometimes we have a lot of musicians on the team, actually. We could start several bands with our Distributed team.
Good to hear. Lovely to see you this morning. Thanks very much indeed, Callum. All the best.
You too. Thanks, Ian.
Well, still to come here on Ian King Live. Australia reopens to international travellers for the first time in almost 2 years. Don't go away.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
By people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Turn it on. Turn it up.
It's your mouth. Show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The best radio show. The best radio show.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and this is Starr Radio UK, the morning show.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Let me hear all the Jesus lovers shout unto God with a voice of triumph.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
We want to lift our voices and shout to the audience of one.
This is Starr Radio UK.
In wager, hear our voices. Lift your voice. 1, 2, 3, go!
Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the
voices
people.
one more time. And let every angel in heaven hear us. Lift your voice. 1, 2, 3, go! We lift up praise to you, Jesus. Shout it out loud, everybody. I want to hear everybody shout it out. Here we go. Nyankopon ye yiwa ye ye bon kase bonierade. You know it, everybody. Wanna succeed
In your car, at work,
At home.
on your smartphone.
Turn it up.
Odumanko Maeja. Lift your voice, let's go. Yepo Unierade. Wanna succeed Kutuwo Odumankuma Odumankuma Nyankopon ye yiwa yo. Everybody. Wanna start singing now? Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We salute you all and want to welcome you to the 21st of February, the year 2022 morning show from Starr Radio UK. I hope you all had a very nice weekend. As I say all the time, well, at times so that things don't get away or go the way that you anticipated that they go, but some way, somehow, you come through it and you are still alive, well and kicking. Maybe you are still going through it, but whatever it is, be thankful to God that you are still alive. And on that note, I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Now, what about you? Wherever you are, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. But let me salute each and every one of you, especially to the team for this morning. Everybody. Mr. Frank Davis, good morning to you. Mr. Olayomi Koiki, good morning to you. HR Rachel in the Pallien all the way in Cyprus, good morning to you. And then let me say a massive good morning to Felix all the way in Aberdeen. Felix, I hope you had a very good weekend. And to the one and only Mr. Francis Guy, our able producer as well. Good morning to you, gentlemen and ladies. Okay, so if you are listening to us from the US, from the UK, from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, wherever you might be listening to us from, we salute you, especially those of you in Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, Gambia. My goodness, thank you very much. We know it costs you an arm and a leg to listen to us. However you do it, with a laugh. At the same lab, we reciprocate this morning, bringing you this morning show. Okay, just bear bear with us for a minute whilst we try to sort a few things out. Let every soul gathered in this place lift your voice. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. We get them everywhere. Nobody like you, Jesus. Okay, something playing in the background from Akase Brempong. Let's say special good morning to all the presenters on Starr Radio UK. I hope you all had a very good or nice weekend, as we say it. But welcome to you all. Okay, so let's crack on. 10:46 the time. I'm going to bring you the quote of the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll then go on to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. That is known as the Global Trotting. Then after that, exactly at 11 o'clock, we're having Olayomi Koiki coming in to bring you updates from Nigeria. Then after that, exactly at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. However, if before then you want to do so, feel free to do so. You can post your comments on our Facebook page, and I promise you, we're going to read it out. But then after that, at 12:45 exactly, we'll be having HRH Linda Pallien all the way from Cyprus joining us on Career 101. Curtains are brought down after that. And that'll be the end of the program for you today. So let's move on straight. Now the quote for today says, everything you want to see happen around you must first happen within you. So everything that you want to see happen around you must first happen within you. So if you want to see changes, you want to see, let it start from you first. What about that? Okay. Let me say good morning to Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, our money man. And to your able and your wonderful family, Sister Evelyn Tabiri and the girls, I salute you all. Kojo D, wherever you are this morning, massive good morning to you. I'm moving on straight to the weather front. Well, we had some units hitting us like no man's business. But now we have Storm Franklin also doing his own business. But well, let's see what is going to happen to each and every one of us here in London and the southeast of England. Let me be specific that way. Now this afternoon there will be patchy cloud and a few lingering spots of rain, though through the afternoon sunny spells will become increasingly frequent. A very windy day, but with winds easing later. Now this evening will be mainly clear with diminishing winds overnight. Clouds and winds increase, and there is a chance of the odd shower or spot of rain towards dawn. Top temperature 12 degrees, the lowest 5 degrees. UV level is going to be low, pollution is going to be low. Sunset 17:26 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07:03 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast. I'm moving on straight to the travel update after this quick commercial break. Just stay with me, don't you go away. A quick commercial break and we continue with the show.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check it out. Keep your eyes on the road. Keep your eyes on the road. Check it out. This is Ghana, my people right here.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio UK Travel App that comes your way every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:50. But so on the underground this morning, there's part closure on the northern line, and the other side, all the others have got good services. London Overground has also got partly suspended. The other side, all the others are good service there. Now on the river bus this morning, apart from the Woolwich ferry that is suspended, all the others have also got good service. And then on the national rail as well, Chiltern Railways, East Midlands, First Haul Trains, First Transpennine Express, Southwestern Railway and Southern have also got special service. Now moving on to the final segment of the travel update, that's the major roads in London. You see, we have a couple of issues there that's pertaining to A24. We've got closures there, A316 closures there, A4 closures there, and Central London Red Routes closures there as well. Sassacre A205 has also got closures. That aside, all the others have got good service. Well, so on that note, let me say it once again. Well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road.
Hi guys, this is your friend Rouge from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 074 98911 or you can visit our website www.worldlamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@worldlamp@gmail.com. World Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's go straight to the Global Trotting, touching on just a bit of them. Because in the next 4 minutes, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. 7 children are mistakenly killed on Friday during an airstrike by a joint team of troops and MNJTF near Maradi, Niger Republic. The reason for leaving Nigeria is simple. We Yoruba can do better on our own. Kenya ambassador who denied that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not abducted in Kenya is dead. Now I'm not happy that he's dead. No, that's not what I'm saying. He lived in that his disbelief that he falls short of they fall short of making sure that they protect individuals' freedom, and ended up not knowing the truth before he died. But whatever it is, that is more of it going to be coming your way from Nigeria when we have Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios bringing you updates from Nigeria. Looking at some of the stories making the rounds here in the UK this morning. Living with COVID, plan to restore our freedom. And then self-isolation rules expected to be scrapped in England. Now, when it comes to some of the other stories making the rounds in the world, well, I woke up this morning, over the weekend, every time I wake up, I just go to check, has Russia invaded Ukraine again? Ukraine? Well, we don't know what is going to happen. Well, the military exercise is going on there under the supervision of the President Putin himself. Well, U.S. claims Russia has invasion kill list. The U.S. tells the UN it has evidence that Russia has a list of people in Ukraine to be killed or detained if it invades. Now, Biden agrees in principle to summit with Putin, but the meeting proposed by France will only take place if Russia does not invade Ukraine. What do you think is going to happen there? A lot more going to be coming your way. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, Ottawa Police clear main protest site. Some of the stories making the rounds in the US through Canada area. On the African continent, Nigeria seizes tons of hides on sale as food. Now, the imported animal hides are suspected to be processed with chemicals used in leather industries. Oh my goodness.
Let's sing that one more time.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
you know what they are talking about?
Yes.
Willie. That's a hide. Okay, and some other stories. Somalia sexism. Some of the stories have been captured there. In other stories making the rounds on the African continent, Zimbabwe opposition attracts thousands to first rally and a new banner. Do you think that they'll be able to outwit the incumbent? Well, we'll see and we'll follow very, very closely. I'm moving on straight to Ghana. We'll look at a couple of the stories before we have Ms. Olayomi Koiki joining in. Jail Power FM presenter Ohineba released from prison. Let's go! It's some of the stories making the rounds there. And minority fumes. Minority fumes. Over government failure to release 2021 common fund. Why is government failing to release this fund? The minority in parliament has accused the Ministry of Finance of failing to release funds to district assemblies common fund for the whole of 2021, but the allegation has been vehemently rejected by the Deputy Finance Minister. So what is it all about? Have they released it? Haven't they released it? Evidence. This is the evidence. We've released it. You go to the ground, it's been released. Well, and majority is set to trigger removal of absentee MP Adjoa Safo. There are some resources making the round this morning, on the stories making the round this morning. What do you think? Welcome your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Enjoy the rest of the song whilst we have Ms. Olayomi Koiki joining in. Okay, I think Mr. Olayomi Koiki has to call back because we cannot see him. It's all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's not gone exactly 2 minutes past 11. The Monday edition of the morning show. But let me take this opportunity to say massive good morning to you, Mr. Olayomi Koiki.
Well, it is a very good morning to you back in the studio, and we say welcome once again to all our viewers from around the globe. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and it's good to be back again on the Monday morning edition of Starr Radio UK.
Yes. How are you doing, sir? And how was your weekend?
Well, it was a very beautiful weekend, for a very long time. As much as the weekend also fall into, the 7 months of the incarceration of Chief Sunday Igboho in Benin Republic. But like he says, the journey of a man will experience a lot of things in life, and we must just continue, to do everything we can do, to make sure that, we do not relent. But I can only also say thank you very much again to all our, listeners from around the world that was able to remember him, on Saturday as well. But I'm doing very good. But like I said, it is the Monday edition, and we're going to have a lot to discuss. But let me come back again. I've got my very beautiful cup of coffee next to me because there's quite a lot to discuss this morning, and we want to make sure that nothing is left untouched.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios, and I'm here, Archie, in the main studios here in London. But now we're going to go into details of some of the stories that has made the round. But let's touch on Chief Sunday Igboho's 7th month in incarceration in Benin. And first of all, I want to know, has there been any official statement from the state, that the federal government, has there been any official statement requesting or whatever? What has been, has there been any statement at all coming from their end?
Well, it's quite surprising that, the Nigerian government, as much as, we always have to remind our listeners, especially those that might not understand, the genesis of this particular case. Chief Sunday Igboho is a man that was fighting not because of, he wants to fight the federal government. He's not fighting the federal government, and he's not a criminal. But there was some kind of, insurgency of terrorist attack, which we have a lot to discuss this morning on that as well. and it seems the federal government decided to shy away from their responsibility. So he decided that he's not going to sit behind on that. So on the 1st of July, his house was invaded, attacked. He was almost killed, but he escaped that assassination attempt. You might be wondering why the federal government would want to visit somebody at exactly 1:30 a.m. in the middle of the night when people were sleeping, and it wasn't called for any kind of arrest warrant, which would have allowed him to visit the federal government DSS in that invitation. So bringing it forward, on the 1st of July, his house was attacked. He was almost killed. He escaped it, and that means the federal government came out with the first intention that it was dead, because it took the federal government and the security operatives more than almost 8 hours to come out and tell the public who invaded Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igbowo's premises on the 1st of July. After he himself came out on an interview he granted to one of the media at about evening time, the government realized that he was still alive, and they had no other option than to really package something to come and tell the public while Chief Sunday Igbowo's house was attacked in the middle of the night. And the question the federal government said was because they believe that they have information of Chief Sunday Igbowo stockpiling ammunition, in his premises. And this was false allegation. They presented some kind of ammunition, charms, but they never told the world that when they invaded Chief Sunday Igbowo's house, his house was also ransacked with millions of naira was taken, pound sterling and jewelries. So just to bring it forward, the DSS now put a what we call a stinge, or what we can call a name circulated to other African country that should he be found, they should alert the federal government. And that was exactly what happened when he decided that he might have to run away for his life, just as anybody would want to do, especially in the situation where your life is at threat. He was stopped at Benin Republic on the 19th of July 2021 on his way to Germany on a legal document, but because his name was already on the system, he wasn't allowed to continue on that journey. Just as Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, the federal government decided to send as quickly as possible an helicopter, to pick him up back to Abuja, but that was stopped. That began a new genesis of what we are now calling 7 months of incarceration of Chief Sunday Igbowo. As I speak to you today, Benin Republic Court has not sentenced him, has not come out to tell the world that this is offense. They've not brought out any information against him. Neither has the federal government also sent in. Yes, we do know that the current former chief of defense staff is also the ambassador to Benin Republic, and that means he has made attempt not once, not twice, not three, to convince Chief Sunday Igbowo whether he might come back to Abuja, but he has said that is not going to happen, and that is where we stand. So at the moment also, so many people have done different things in terms of getting him out, but I can now confirm that the GoFundMe that was taken down some weeks ago, because GoFundMe said we do not want to get involved in a fundraising money for somebody that has to do with the country, but we can confirm that as at this morning, £15,000 have now been raised by a particular platform called Maego Political, where its fans are saying we will make sure that every legal aspect will be done to get Chief Sunday Igbowo's out. This is Star Radio UK, 8 minutes past 11. I come back now to you again in the studio.
Yes, listeners, we want to say thank you very much for joining us once again. Amayo, let me say good morning to you. I hope you had a nice weekend there as well. Okay, now that is officially, we've not had any word from the federal government about Chief Sunday Igbowo's detention in Benin, and as to whether they want him back. We know that the ambassador, the Nigerian ambassador in Benin, will definitely be trying to work something out. But you did make a statement, mention in your statement that now has he had contact with Sunday Igbowo and trying to get him to Nigeria? That's the ambassador, has he had any contact of the sort?
Not just him himself, we've not just saying this because of saying it, but we can tell the world that the ambassador to representing Nigeria Buratai has made an attempt, to convince whether Chief Sunday Igboho might return back to Nigeria. Not once, not twice, not thrice, but these are failed attempts. And some other individuals that we might probably just keep for now that have tried to say if they can convince him, but he has said his freedom does not mean he's fighting federal government. He's fighting for the injustice, crime against humanity, against a particular set of people, or those that still believe in Nigeria, depending on how you might want to look at it.
But I was asking because I was asking that in line with the fact that if the federal government can say, look, we want you back. It's not that we want to maybe arrest you and put you in prison or anything, but they will give you the assurance that nothing untoward is going to happen to you. We know that you are trying to fight for the cause of your people because you think they are being maligned, they are being downtrodden, they are being abused and everything that is going on, and therefore we know that the cause that you are fighting for is the right cause. But we'll give you the assurance that once you come into Nigeria, nothing untoward will happen to you. Do you think that will work?
You could have expected the government to have done so rather than invading his house. Also, where the chief security of the state, Seyi Makinde, the governor of the state, was probably aware. Not probably, but was aware as well, because intelligence also gave us information that he also was aware. Also, some other traditional rulers. Remember that Chief Sunday Igboho is not just an ordinary individual. He's been in the public domain for a very long time because of who he is. So that means he's not just an average Nigerian that can be picked up. So his name, his story is something that was frightening. Even one of the first-class royal kings says, we advise him, but he probably didn't go through that advice after I engaged the presidency on his behalf.
Well, listeners, we'll follow the story very, very closely, but we hope that the officials, the representatives of Sunday Igboho are doing their best, and we hope that then the Beninoans are going to set up and do the right thing. Okay, it is Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. So now let's go to some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you.
Well, over the weekend, as much as it might seem what is actually going on, the Kenya ambassador to Nigeria died in Abuja. Let us first remember who he is. I mean, we have the friend ambassador representing their country in Nigeria, but he was one of those that said that Nnamdi Kanu was not adopted from Kenya. But this Saturday, he passed away after slump. Before getting to hospital, he died. Kenya ambassador to Nigeria died is the headline coming as we speak this morning. The Kenya ambassador to Nigeria, Wilfred Machiga, has been confirmed dead. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed that after he collapsed at his home, he was pronounced dead at the hospital in Abuja. That is already creating a lot of conversation, because this was somebody that we believe, according to the statement that we've seen, that has to testify against whether Nnamdi Kanu was adopted, rendition back to Nigeria, because there's an affidavit that have come out from Kenya saying that yes, they can confirm that Nnamdi Kanu arrived in Kenya, but they cannot confirm that he left Kenya. So the question then is, if Nigerian government have brought Nnamdi Kanu back, was the authority in Kenya aware of this? Was the ambassador representing Kenya in Nigeria aware of this? Again, as you can tell, when situations like this happen, there will be all kind of speculation, but we can confirm that he died, and we can only say may so rest in peace, and the family that he left behind continue to be something that we pray for. So again, I'm going to quickly touch on more other headline, come back again to you in the studio. I'm going to fight like a dirty pig. That is coming from the national leader of the APC. People scheming against Yoruba presidency. I am ready to fight a dirty fight. You might be asking yourself, why would somebody want to fight a dirty fight? A video of the national leader of the APC, Bola Tinubu, visiting one of the royal father in Oyo State, also said that the youth should have to wait until he has become the next president of Nigeria. So the headline this morning on most of the papers says, people scheming against Yoruba presidency. I am ready to fight dirty, Tinubu says. The APC leader alleged that people were being recruited to frustrate his and Yoruba's quest, but he remained undaunted. You know, the presidential aspirant Bola Tinubu says he's ready to do whatever is needed to achieve his long ambition to become Nigerian president. I am out to become president of Nigeria. No intimidation, no blackmail can stop me, Mr. Tinubu said during a visit to Olubadan, designated Lekan Balogun in Ibadan on Sunday. What a very interesting time as the election is getting closer. The agitation is not stopping. Fuel scarcity. Private depot hike rates, more filling stations may sell above 180 naira is the headline. Also, it doesn't seem the federal government says admit inspection failure causes dirty fuel import price soars in most of the state. The federal government is admitting that yes, we are, we haven't done the diligent work to make sure that whatever comes back to Nigeria is something that we can literally say is standard for Nigerians' usage. But there's a video, let's see if I can get that video out quickly, from somebody that has been a public speaker in the oil and gas sector. Let's hear what she has to say in a video that is currently trending as we speak this morning. If you've just joined us, this is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. This is what she has to say in that less than 2-minute video that has become the question mark. What has gone wrong with all our refineries? What has happened? Should we keep them? Should we sell them off? This is what she has to say.
About 14 years now, I've been an event host, MC, compare, moderator, and in about 10 years, I've moderated several events in the oil and gas industry. Particularly over the last 2 years, I was moderator at the Oil Trading and Logistics event, Africa Downstream Week. And some conversations that have come up at sessions where I moderated would just baffle me, like, are these things real? For example, do you know that in the last 3 years, the Nigerian refineries together have refined zero crude? Nothing, zilch. But it has cost us 10 billion naira every month to maintain these same refineries. I mean, I'm like, do Nigerians know these things? The Nigerian refineries can be compared to a beat down, broken down, not serviced, engine not Peugeot 403, leaking, rusty, corroded, nothing working. And even if we were to find the parts to change and upgrade to make it quite new, they would be extremely expensive and even difficult to find. And should they work, the quality of refined products from these refineries will be less than desired. The standard way less than what is internationally accepted. So I'm wondering, what are we doing? One of the reasons I hadn't talked about this for some time is I was saying, what qualifications do I have? Am I an engineer? Am I a PhD holder? Am I an economist? No. I'm a Nigerian. And if it concerns me, it concerns all of us. So I wouldn't just like to talk about a problem and not prefer a solution or two. Solution number one. Can we please lease or sell these refineries to players in the private sector that know what they are doing and can bring them back to life and possibly convert them into income generating facilities as they were built to be? Or number two, perhaps we should just shut them down completely.
Should we just shut them down? That is what she said there before I come back to you in the studio. If Nigerians are not aware, a refinery that is not functioning, not producing anything, it is completely scrapped, but yet 10 billion naira is being spent monthly on all the 4 refineries, according to this individual that seems to know more about the sector than most Nigerians that are waking up and asking, why are we the capital poverty of the world? What is actually going on? The question remains, are Nigerians going to go out and vote? Are Nigerians going to decide whether it is time to make sure that maybe the self-determination or the constitution, the restructuring, where do you stand? This is our timeline this morning on Star Radio UK when we talk about how many days left, which we're going to, I think it's about less than 350 something days. I'll confirm that in just about a few minutes. But it's still Star Radio UK. I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, Mr. Ladiko, and that clip that you played a moment ago is quite a worrying one. So, for a refinery that is not operating, for government to be spending 10 billion, is it monthly on it? I mean, it baffles me because we have people in the communities who are suffering big time. So we have that money to waste. Why don't we give it to them then? There are other infrastructure that can be. But the other question is, we have individuals who can run this and make money. So why is government not allowing or selling it off to individuals or making individuals whole majority share or stake in it and leaving it to them to run it? Why is that not happening? And a whole country that is the 6th largest oil producing country in the world now having shortage of fuel in the country? That is a shame. Honestly, that is a massive shame there. But I will come to that. But quickly, Amayo says education is the strength of any progressive nation like UK, America, China, Germany, and others. What is the strength of Nigeria is a question I is asking. It goes on further to say Botswana was one of the poorest nations on earth in 1966, while Nigeria was the most prospective nation in Africa. 2021 report says Botswana economy is rated second in Africa, while Nigeria is the poverty capital in the world. Now, I continue to say, it's spending 10 billion naira on moribund refineries monthly. Wow. If you don't kill corruption, corruption will kill you. Corruption has killed Nigeria. Break it up. Maybe like the contributor said earlier on, it says that, well, she thinks that if it's broken, the refinery is broken up and giving it to individuals, they will run it and they can be making profit out of it. Maybe that is where Nigeria has got into now. If they break it up and let the houses and the southeast and the southwest, everybody have their own autonomy and do whatever they want, I think they might run the nation better than what we see together, where we are not, I mean, the center cannot hold and things are falling apart. Well, Yomi, do you think that the government in any way, shape or form will think or have that inclination that they have to sell the oil refinery?
When it comes to the oil and gas sector in Nigeria, and when you talk about the NNPC, I believe it's one of the most corrupt, sector that you can ever think of. I'm just looking at some of the headlines when you put in NNPC on the Google. NNPC expecting about 2.3 billion liters of the PMS to stabilize. Again, first and foremost, I don't believe this government and the previous government are serious when it comes to fixing the problem of the refinery in the first place. The refinery has become, a big player for individuals that are importing, some of this PMS into the country. The whole sector needs to be independent, audited properly, so that we can really know, what is what, and whether maybe the government is waiting on something like the Dangote refinery to kick up, and they might scrap the old NNPC and probably allow Dangote to run the system itself. For scarcity, the Northern Group demand the sacking of the NNPC top officials, threaten the mass action. These are headlines in the last 15 hours. Contaminated petrol, NNPC blame game, face saving. NNPC 3 days ago, no pen collaborate to end scarcity. The question is, why do Nigerians have to suffer for something that is already on the surface of the ground? The 6th largest crude oil producer in, well, we're not producing, but we're the 6th largest crude oil, but yet we don't have the capacity to produce, but the refinery have got about 10 billion naira every month that nobody knows what is the purpose of the money being spent.
Well, listeners, if you are listening to us, it's quite an interesting story there, but we want to have your take on that. Do you think that a whole nation, we say we don't have the means, because if it's the machines that are not working properly, a whole Nigeria can't take a loan to invest in that, knowing that, well, once it comes upstream, we are going to get good outcome of it. Can't Nigeria do that? We have only one person. We have one person, an individual, who is now building that and will be able to manage. So what is actually going on in our heads? Well, as I said, it's one of the corrupt industry in Nigeria, with the NNPC. We hope that maybe there's a turnaround. Amayo says, revolution now, referendum now, Freedom now, Yoruba Nation now. Okay, let's go to Yomi for some of the other stories making their rounds in the world. 17 killed as invasion by terror bandits on Shanghai. Yawuri, what is that all about?
Well, as usual, it was a very terrible situation again over the weekend. With the terrorist attack, rescue from the Nigerian military forces as well. Just 19 minutes ago as well, reports indicate that terrorists in the early hours of this morning attacked the town of Galadima Kogo near Chiroro Dam, planting several IEDs within the communities. So this is just something that is still coming up, as we're speaking right now. But the one that you're talking about, again, we saw that several terrorists were on Monday neutralized around Mandara Mountains when the troops of the 149th Battalion Nigerian Defense laid ambush on the fleeing terrorists. IED and weapons were also recovered. Some of the weapons that I'm seeing here, I'm seeing some machine guns. You cannot ask yourself, how did we get to where we are, that this government that promises to tackle the insecurity, trillions of naira have been spent, but yet no result has happened as well. But I can also confirm that, but based on what you just said, victims and their families adopted when armed terrorists invaded Kugwala village have been rescued. You can see that the whole northern part of Nigeria seems to be cut out of the entire part as well. Again, 8 victims who were on Wednesday adopted on their farmland has been rescued by the Nigerian military. But also on Saturday, we saw, on Friday, before going down to the 17th, the 7 children were mistakenly killed on Friday last week during an airstrike by the joint team of the troops and the MNJTF near Maradi in Niger Republic. But yesterday, on Sunday, 17 killed as invasion by the terrorists on Shanga Yuru Koko local government in Kebbi State continue unchecked for more than 4 hours yesterday. The attack is coming barely 72 hours after the last attack in Kebbi State, which is also the home of the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami.
Well, you're talking about the money, the amount of money that government has pumped into salvaging the security of the country. But someone will tell you that it's difficult when you have like families, because those terrorists themselves, they've got their own family, so they move together with them. So when you want to actually attack them, and the state security want to attack them or to fight them off, there's a tendency that those people can be caught up in the middle. And how do you think they're going to deal with it? How do you think Nigeria as a whole can deal with that now?
Well, the situation is all about profiling who is coming into Nigeria. I was given an analysis of that late last night, that if an immigration officer picks up somebody in UK, the first thing they will be asking is if they cannot find him on their database. That means they become very concerned of that individual. How long have you lived in UK? Where are you from? Because you might have been living there and then doing so much things that they do not know. So they have to quickly gather as much information to pin you down to who you are. But in Nigeria today, we have a porous border that people are coming in their flocks. I was watching a video that was sent from Lagos in Apapa, a total gridlock of motorbikes, moving around the whole area. But the question is, do we know how many of those on that bike, whether they are the real Nigerians or those that have influx into the country, make money legally or illegally, or also create terror? And that takes us back to something that also happened in Ogun State, where gunmen kidnap Ogunosin mother. Family pays a total of 3 million naira. If I look at the exchange rate this morning, a 3 million naira, bringing it back to pound sterling at about 780 naira, it's almost like almost 3,000 pounds, if not a little bit more. That is a lot of money for a country where is the capital poverty of the world. So in terms of the security, I believe something has been compromised, just as the late Dr. Malafi Obadia told us. that one of the current governor in the northern part of Nigeria is the leader of the Boko Haram, and he also said in his word, there's nothing called Boko Haram and bandit. They are all the same, and their mission is to create what we call a civil war in Nigeria. He said, I have sat down with them not once, not twice, not thrice, for those that have repented, and during the lockdown, they were moving ammunition and money. They are already in the southern part of the country, and that is why we are saying in Ogun State, in the southeast, in the middle belt, in the northwest, the whole country security architect is completely gone down. And I was playing a video during one of my analysis yesterday to our listeners on my late night broadcast, and I could remember one of the comrade, former Navy comrade Olayomi, says the Nigerian military base across the country thrown open on a Friday for people to come in and pray, and you probably won't know who is who that come in to pray, because that was when the Nigerian Defense Academy was attacked. It was interviewed on the mainstream media in Nigeria, and he said the journalists should go and check this out, because every Nigerian military base is wide open for anyone to come in on Friday to pray. And my question is, will I be able to go into the British Academy and pray on a Friday, or go there on Sunday because I wanted to do a service? These are the questions. That means the security architect of Nigeria is already compromised by those that have a different intention to lock down the country for their own benefit gain.
Interesting. Now how can you open a military base open it up for people to come and pray there? I mean, because when the people are coming in, you are not going to be checking them security wise, checking or profiling them before they come in. You will not do that. People will just walk in straight. Any intention that they have, if they have to be spying around to see the loopholes in those particular areas to actually spring an action, or I mean, it's Jesus Christ. Well, Amayo says that this present government has exhausted all available ideas. Nothing good can be achieved going forward. Break Nigeria. And if it goes on further, in fact, I weep daily for the next generation because our grandparents and parents failed us, but it's time to take it back. Yes, we can and we will. Yoruba nation now, no going back. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koike bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now let's move on to some of the other stories making the round, sir.
It's exactly 11:32, and if you're sending money home to your loved ones, remember to use SendWaves. Remember to use the code if you're using it for the first time, S for Star, R for Radio. ASU NEC converge on Abuja today, and we hope they can resolve the problem as quickly as possible so that the university student can return back, to university. But we do know that these things doesn't go as it's meant to be. So we're gonna go straight to the headlines from the social media, and the first one is coming from Bashegun Alabi at Bashegun 1. The reason for leaving Nigeria is simple: we Yoruba can do better on our own. That is coming from those that believe that the Yoruba nation is a peaceful movement and is a right of every Yorubas that decide whether they still want to be part of the country called Nigeria or not. So let's take a look at some of the other headlines coming out of Nigeria this morning. This one says, good morning. This is Reno Odwala. Reno Odwala, very popular influencer on the social media, on Twitter especially, one of the voices during the NSAS, and those are part of those that are still campaigning that it could be changed. So if you go on that Twitter and you said hashtag 2023 elections on Savvy Reno Space, a space for every Nigerian to share opinions and join in the conversation leading up to the 2023 election. Again, just as Tinubu have told the youth that they should go and sit behind the fence until he becomes the next president of Nigeria, that is the only time that the youth can decide whether they will be part of the next generation to become the president. So she's actually posted something, I believe, to one of our very good actor known as Baba Suwe. I believe he must have passed on. He said, good morning to Nigerian heroes and past. The rest of you go queue for fuel. So it seems more Nigerians this morning are already queuing for fuel. So that is on Reno Odwala, like I said, a very popular influencer on the social media. Let's look at the Stand City World hashtag MNK, which stands for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, says federal government of Nigeria planning to bomb Igbo and Biafrans in Abuja Stadium share to save lives. This was 17 years ago, according to this Twitter handle. Again, a lot of conversation on the death of the Kenya ambassador to Nigeria, as much as we believe that he must have died for whatever reason, illness, we don't know, but there's something always, especially as Kenya is involved in terms of the the rendition, the kidnapping of the leader of the IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that is currently being held as we speak today. So most Biafrans have been following this conversation. I was one of their channel on YouTube, and the whole conversation was, could there be a conspiracy that must have led to the death of an ambassador representing Kenya in Nigeria when there's a high-profile case? Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case is a very, very high profile that nobody can deny. Even the federal government knows that, because the federal government says it was using his radio to want to destabilize Nigeria. But the only count charges that the federal government did not add is whether Nnamdi Kanu, that kept saying that is not the real Buhari. I would have expected that to have been the number 16, and maybe that could have led us to find out who really is in the presidency. As Buhari himself says, this is real me, but Mazi Nnamdi Kanu believed that that is not the real Buhari, but that count charges was not on the count charges on him. His next court case is going to be in April, and it will be quite interesting to see how that goes. But a lot of their lawyers, the legal representative of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have said people should now go and put on that outfit that the DSS has actually rejected, from allowing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with a lion face that the DSS believe might be taunting them as well. So Biafra Mission TV says at Biafra_mission, the death of our ambassador is totally unacceptable. It must be investigated. Kenya government tells Nigerian government. Again, what has really improved in Nigeria since the independent? Question mark. This is coming from Marcos Okonko. That is a question you should ask yourself if you're still waiting for one Nigeria to work. After 60 years, you are still begging for basic amenities. And to be honest with you, to our listeners, so many Nigerians, you only need to go on some of the pages like the iInfluencer, the Socialite, and read some of the comments when they post their video. You'll be surprised on how many of them are asking for something underneath the comment section. And I'll try and pick one up before we go, just to give you an idea of how people flock onto the bottom of these, some of these are influencer on this, especially on Instagram, where they will be able to beg for 1,000 naira, 2,000 for feeding, edic, whatever they might think of, because they believe that they might just pick it up and they might be able to rescue them, especially with so many Nigerians that are now asking the question, how can we have so much abundant resources underneath the surface of the earth, and yet millions of Nigerians cannot even boast of a basic square meal today? I'm going to come back to you in the studio. Like I said, I'm going to pick one of those comments from one of those influencer while I'm bringing that up. Let's continue to say to Nigerians, the time is entirely up to us. As Obasanjo, this is something, let's put this on before we go. Obasanjo said this on Saturday as well. We do know him very well. Obasanjo is the former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Matthew Okikiola Aremo Obasanjo, GCFR, is a Nigerian political and military leader who served as a Nigerian head of state between 1976 to 1979. He later became the first president during the Democratic in 1999 to 2007. He said something yesterday. I have been breaking it down to find out whether we have the rebel according to the statement that was released by these former military head of state, because he has said it so many times that the future of Nigerians is in the hands of Nigerians. You need to go and slug it out, because these leaders that you keep calling are not ready to leave, and you have to go and do what you have to do. But yesterday, rather on Saturday, this is what he has to say. Let's bring that information out. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said solving the problems bedeviling Nigeria will require a person who rise in opposition or harm resistance against an established government or leader, who will speak truth to the power. he has actually used the word rebel, but we've been able to break down the meaning of rebel so that an average Nigerian can understand what that means. A rebel, according to the English dictionary, says a person who rises in opposition or harm resistance against an established government or leader. This is Star Radio UK. What a very beautiful weekend it was for so many Nigerians that are reading so many headlines until this morning when Star Radio UK has been revealing that. Exactly 11:40 a.m. And I said to those that are watching us on all other platforms, Ayideronke says, good afternoon to Mr. Koiki. You're too much. I love your show like Daku. Daku means something very good. Yoruba Nation, no going back. And we'd like to appreciate those that are spending so much to listen to Star Radio UK from Nigeria. Make sure you subscribe to all our platforms on Instagram and Twitter. But the best way to listen to Star Radio UK is to download the apps from Monday to Friday, where myself, Archie, Frank, and the rest of the team brings you everything, not just from Nigeria, but for the whole of continent called Africa.
Honestly. Yes. Listen to Star Radio UK. Now, let me read some of the comments. Olabode Oladele says, for your information, Buhari is the petroleum minister who aids less effective in office. Okay. Who is less effective in office. Okay, so that's how he is saying that Buhari is the petroleum minister. And Amayo has also said, he said, there's a minute. It says, Nigeria youth need to move away from suffering and smiling attitude to suffering and act or action. It goes on further to say Nigeria spring loading. Nigeria spring is loading. And then let me say good it's some morning to Remy Oyeniran. Remy, good morning to you. Amayo goes on, more rebels will surface soon. Watch out. Well, we have a rebel, a lot of rebels already. Chief of them, that's why Sunday Igboho, and some of the others, even you listening to us, wherever you are, being actually agitated by what is going on in the country, thinking that the country needs better than what we are seeing at the moment. Let your comments come in. I promise you, we're going to be reading that. But let's go back to Yomi for some of the rest of the stories making the rounds and what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, like I said, the social media has been full of, some of those events happening, in the last 72 hours, the killings, the petrol, I was watching, like a skit, which would bring to the final conclusion of the social media, where a young Nigerian was trying to buy a black market 10-liter for 8,000 naira. He probably, could not be bothered to buy it for 8,000 naira. For 10,000 liter because he thought it was too expensive. He moved a bit and into the next seller, and the next seller says 9,000 naira. He wanted to go back to the previous seller. He realized that looking through his car window, something was being sold already. He did call the seller back and say, do you still have the 10 liter? The guy said, well, I don't have 10 liter, but I do have 5 liter. The guy was expecting that the 5 liter would have cost about 4,000 naira, but to be there and there, that 5 liter has even jumped twice the price to about 18,000.
That's galloping inflation.
And the guy was like, how I wish I could have bought it in the present time when it was approached. So this is what Nigerians are facing, a very difficult time for millions of Nigerians as we speak. And the reality is, who is going to change the situation as we're approaching 2023?
Listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's now gone 11:43, and that's where we bring the updates from Nigeria to close. But I promise you that tomorrow we're going to bring you more on that. Enjoy join Koiki on the other platforms when he brings you his take on what is going on in Nigeria. Yeah, it's very important. I mean, together, thank God for technology, so we are not far from each other. We are able to put our minds and our thoughts and everything together and share what our take is, and it's very, very important. So let's do that. It takes a bit of time to get to where you want to go, but with determination, and of course it's expensive, yet we will get there. So thank you very much to each and every one of you who is listening to us or watching us live from Nigeria or on the African continent, where it costs an arm and a leg to buy data. Thank you very, very much on that front. So Yomi, before you go,
make sure you stay tuned. Frank and Archie still have the rest of the program. I'll be back again same time tomorrow, 11 a.m. on the update from Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, so that was Mr. Olayomi Koike bringing you updates from Nigeria. And to all of you, those who have been liking our pages and the broadcast and everything, I salute you all. I want to say thank you. Let's take a quick commercial break and I'll bring you that lovely tune. Nigeria is at crossroads, but which way is Nigeria going? Stay tuned.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Welcome back to the program. Let me acknowledge Adeni Jibril. Thank you very much giving us a thumbs up there as well. Thank you very, very much for joining us on this platform. Continue to do so as well. So let's take this music, Which Way Nigeria, and we'll continue with the show. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.
Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh sure, sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many, many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Green Revolution.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Our ambition to be millionaires is running the country down. We all want to be millionaires and to live in the air. Oh, let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, we want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Remember that a simple step is the beginning of a million miles. Let's start right now to rebuild ourselves so as to make the country smile. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Well, that was the wish of the one and only Sonny Okuson.
Which way to go?
But as whether that is going to materialize is one other thing that maybe in another generation we'll be seeing it. But hey, wherever you are listening to us from, hold your horses, think things through, and I can tell you that somewhere, somehow, we might be able to salvage what is going on at the moment. Others are thinking the only way forward is breaking it up and let's go our separate ways, and by so doing we'll be able to sort our differences out and sort our own issues out. Now, what do you think about all that? It will be lovely to hear from you on that front. But it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 11:52, and therefore we're going to be going into some of the stories making the rounds here in the UK. So don't you go away whilst I try to pull up the stories that is making the rounds here in the UK. As I said, this time when I sleep and I'm going to wake up, I'm asking myself, I hope that Ukraine has not been invaded. But well, others are thinking, what is the point? Why would they invade it? What is the end game for Russia if they invade Ukraine? To do what? But some information are coming through, which I'm going to be bringing you more on that front in a moment. But living with COVID plan to restore our freedom. That's one of the stories making the rounds there. Living with COVID plan to restore our freedom. It's one of the stories making the rounds there this morning. The Prime Minister is meeting with the cabinet ahead of his statement to the Commons has been delayed. Why has it been delayed? Let me bring you more on that front. Now, Boris Johnson is due to set out his plan to scrap all remaining COVID legal restrictions in England, including the requirement to isolate. His meeting with the cabinet ahead of the updating MPs in the Commons has been delayed. However, Mr. Johnson said the end to restriction will mark a moment of pride as well as we begin to learn to live with COVID. Now, some experts urged caution and Labour questioned plans to reduce testing. Now, speaking this morning, Mr. Johnson said his plan will bring society towards a return to normality after one of the most difficult periods in our country's history. Number 10 said the success of the COVID vaccination program has put England in a strong position to consider lifting the remaining legal restriction. It added that the pandemic was not over, and the plan for living with COVID will take a cautious approach, now which will retain some surveillance system and plan for contingency measures, which can be stood up if needed to respond to a new variant. What do you think? Do you feel at peace? Do you feel okay? Thumbs up. Let's get on with what we are doing at the moment, and as we say all the time, we hope that everything works out the way we want it. Do you think that is going to be the plan? Do you think that's going to be the plan? I would love to know exactly what you think on that front, but that is what is happening at the moment. So as to whether the announcement is going to be coming on, or the statement is going to be coming on, presentation to Parliament this afternoon, I'm not very sure of it, because the cabinet meeting didn't take place. So due to, I don't know whether pressing issues, whether international front or home here. So we'll be bringing you more on that as and when we know more about that. Now, living with self-isolation rules expected to be scrapped. We'll be bringing you more. But the Queen is working though on light duties after COVID symptoms. Now the story says that her working load, that means the Queen is working on light duties at Windsor Castle this week despite testing positive for COVID, royal officials have said. Buckingham Palace confirmed on Sunday that the Queen, 95, was experiencing mild cold-like symptoms. Light duties likely includes reading state papers, which usually takes up a significant chunk of nearly every day. The mood at Windsor Castle is one of caution and no major cause for alarm, said royal correspondent. Now, the story says that there is a sense it will be business as usual as much as, if possible, for the Queen. But the Queen's medical team will likely be keeping a very close eye on her, especially as she is considerably thinner and frailer than she was last year. One of the correspondents said the Queen's eldest son and heir, the Prince of Wales, 73, tested positive on 10th of February, 2 days after the pair had met each other. A number of people have also tested positive at Windsor Castle, where the Queen lives. It is understood. The Queen had no public engagement in the diary this week, but it's likely that any scheduled video meetings are likely to have been postponed. While on light duties, it is likely the Queen will be reading documents from UK government ministers and Commonwealth representatives sent to her every day, approving and signing them where necessary. A short trip to Denmark by the Duchess of Cambridge is still set to go ahead this week. Well, she also tested positive, but I think they are all recouping. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's move on to some other stories making the round. A couple of stories from the UK front, and then we can bring that bit to a close and then move on to the international front. Now, Storm Franklin has hit UK with flooding and high winds. So late yesterday afternoon to evening to this morning, it was raging seriously. Now, Storm Franklin is continuing to hammer parts of the UK with strong winds and heavy rain. There is several flooding in parts of Northern Ireland, and more than 80 flood warnings remain in place in part of Yorkshire. Now, severe disruption means Network Rail's advising customers to check before they travel. Now, Franklin comes days after Storm Eunice killed 3 people and left 1.4 million homes without power. The Met Office issued 2 weather warnings for Monday, an amber warning for wind in Northern Ireland, which expired this morning, and a milder yellow warning for wind covering Wales, Northern Ireland, most of England, and parts of southwest Scotland. Now, Storm Franklin is the 3rd named storm in a week following Dudley and Eunice, the first time this has happened since the storm naming system was introduced in 2015. Okay. We hope that people are keeping themselves safe as much as you can. Do your best to keep yourself safe. You don't get yourself thrown into any troubles there. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Let me announce the lines open. It's just call it 40 seconds to 12. Okay, so it's almost 12 here. Those of you in Nigeria, I know it's already afternoon, but let me announce the lines. It's 0208-133-2257 and 4 or 58. 0208-133-2257 or 58. And those of you in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area is 001-718-303-2737. 001-718-303-2737. You can also text or WhatsApp us. It's 075-3966-1744. 075-3966-1744. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK. And email address is info@starradiouk.com. So make sure you get in touch with us. You can also Skype at us. Our Skype ID is Starr Radio UK 1. Starr Radio UK 1. Just look for us there and we'll allow you to share your take or call into the program. It is the Monday edition of the morning show.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay. So now let's look at some of the news making the rounds on the international front, and top on the agenda or top of the story is Ukraine and Russia, the banter that seems to be going on. And as I said earlier on, when I sleep and I'm waking up at dawn, I quickly want to check, have they invaded, or it's still, yes, some way, somehow we could use diplomacy to resolve whatever thing that is going on. But well, information coming through says that, Joe Biden has agreed in principle to hold a formal meeting with Vladimir Putin to discuss the Ukraine crisis. But Russia says talk of a summit is premature and there are no concrete plans for a meeting. Now, several airlines, including Air France and Lufthansa, have suspended flights to Ukraine over invasion fears. The U.S. claims Russia has compiled a list of people in Ukraine to be killed or sent to detention camps after an invasion. Now, Moscow calls a report of a list an absolute lie. In Belarus, which borders Ukraine, thousands of Russian troops will stay on despite finishing military exercise. Now, Boris Johnson says that the economic sanction being prepared by the West will hit Moscow very, very hard, but he says that this might not be enough to deter Vladimir Putin from starting the worst conflict in Europe since 1945. Was it over the weekend when we were analyzing the amount of nuclear warheads that Russia has in the whole world? They are the ones who have the most. I think they have more than 600 nuclear warheads. Okay, so if you say that you're going to play sanctions, if they decide to invade or if they decide to go all out war, what would the other world do? I mean, we have the US, we have Europe, and the NATO, and all those things. Well, can they stand the force of Russia? Can they actually? Well, it is all Starr Radio UK. We hope that we don't get to that. But stepping up preparation for worst case scenario, the UK and its allies are stepping up preparation for the worst case scenario in Ukraine. Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has said. Truss made a comment in a tweet following talks with a NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg in Brussels. Diplomacy must be pursued, but a Russian invasion of Ukraine looks highly likely, she wrote. We must make the cost for Russia intolerably high. Now, we must make that cost. Russia has denied any plans to attack Ukraine, but as a must troops along the country's border. Western officials have warned that Russia could launch an attack within days. Well, we said that the other time was that they were going to attack last Wednesday. It's not happened. But what do you think is going to happen there? Now, Ukraine's infrastructure minister has insisted that the country's airspace remains open despite announcing that 10 airlines have adjusted scheduled flights amid growing tensions with Russia. Is that the intention of Russia? So once they're doing that, people will now decide not to travel to your part of the world. Investment will go down, and then automatically they are impacting you or hitting you hard when it comes to your tummy. Do you think that's what's happening there? The current cancellation of flights by a number of foreign airlines is dictated solely by the information aggravation of the information aggravation of the situation, and not by real changes in flight safety. Oleksandr Kurbakov said in a news briefing. He added that the state is working to replace cancelled flights, and noted that the country's flag carrier, Ukraine International Airlines, has already opened ticket sales and increase the capacity of aircraft on additional flights from Kiev to Munich and Geneva. Now, several major European airlines have announced that they are either suspending or scaling back flights to Ukraine amid security concerns. Germany's Lufthansa said it was halting flights to Ukraine from Monday, that's today, joining the Dutch carrier KLM, which has already suspended flights. Now, it goes on further to say Air France also announced on Monday that it was suspending flights scheduled to Kiev on Tuesday, but noted that the move is a precautionary measure and that it will be regularly re-evaluated to see what step to take. Evacuees lives thrown into limbo by Ukrainian separatists. Now bundled in winter coats, exhausted after hours of travel, the evacuees sit in the buses that brought them from Ukraine's border to small Russian city of Tanganarog. They've made the journey from areas of Ukraine held by Russian-backed separatist rebels. On Friday, women, children, and the elderly were told to leave. We're told, my apologies, let me pick that again. We're told to leave. One, that Ukraine was planning an invasion, an offensive, let me put it that way. It's a baseless claim that the Ukraine and the West have strongly disputed. The fear that is an attempt by Russia to create grounds to justify their own attack. None on board seem to know where they will be taken next. Many say they were reluctant to go, leaving behind fathers, husbands, brothers who have not been allowed out, but they were told they must stay to fight. Are they using them as human shield? What is that all about? Well, the West and Ukraine have said that we didn't plan to do anything of the sort. Well, the West is, claiming that Russia is just doing those things and then just causing some uproars and stuff like that, and then can use that as a reason to invade. But they think there's going to be an invasion. So far, almost a week on, and we've not seen any invasion taking place. Well, military exercises take place. We have the US and the Japanese doing their military exercise. We have the US and the South Koreans doing their military exercise. We have the US and some of the European countries doing their military exercises there. So, what's different? Well, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Don't be bored. I'm going to bring you some music during the course of the program as well. Now, Ottawa Police clear main protest site. Now, police have said they have 170 arrests over the past 2 days of operation in Canada's capital. It's one of the stories making the rounds. We know protesters have blocked a bridge that leads from the UK, my apologies, from the US to Canada. Okay, and it's been quite a difficult time, but the police are said to have cleared that bridge. Now, U.S. couple plead guilty in nuclear secret plot. The wife acted as lookout while her husband hid a data card inside a peanut butter sandwich. Oh my goodness! Well. Espionage. A U.S. Navy engineer's wife has pleaded guilty to helping her husband to try to sell secrets about nuclear-powered submarine to a foreign country. Diana Toby, 46, acted as a lookout while her husband left information at a dead drop spot, once hiding a data card inside a peanut butter sandwich. A former teacher, she will go to prison for up to 3 years under her plea deal with federal prosecutors. Her husband, Jonathan Turby, 42, pleaded guilty earlier this week. Now, under his plea deal, he will receive a sentence of up to between 12 and 17 years. Both of the Turbys pleaded guilty in federal court in Matzenburg, West Virginia, to conspiring to communicate restricted data. Well. Man to man is so enjoyable, but you don't know who to trust. And that is what Bob Marley said in his song. Okay. Well, looking at some of the stories still making the rounds in the US, Canada, and the Caribbean area, let's quickly line down. Over 120 still missing in flood-hit Brazilian city. At least 171 deaths are confirmed 5 days after the huge mudslide in Petropolis. Well, the story says that, search and clean up efforts continue in Brazil city of Petropolis 5 days after Petropolis 5 days after flash floods and mudslides have killed at least 171 people. Okay, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactly 10 minutes past 12. Let me say a massive good morning to my daughter-in-law, Pat. I hope you are doing very well. I'll get back to you in a moment. So stay tuned. Don't you go away. Now, on Sunday, a massive cleanup effort retrieved more than 300 vehicles that have been swept away by the floods at the city. Popular tourist getaway north of Rio de Janeiro tries to reopen for business. Well, so that makes it worry, you know, when you build houses on the side of hills or mountains. Because back in Ghana, where my mom hails from, the Equapim area, I mean, most of the houses are so beautifully built, you know, but they are on the sides of the hills, and it's nice. It's nice in the night when you see the fog and then you see the lights. I mean, it makes pictorially very, very nice there. But if you see such things happening there, landslides and stuff like that, it makes you wonder what can happen there. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Some of the stories making the rounds there. And as I said last, Mexican army moves in on drug lord's hometown. We know the other time the one of the leaders have been the former president have been captured as well. The Mexican army has taken control of the hometown of a powerful drug lord in the state of Michoacan, West Mexico, in the Nemesio Ozuguera Caventes, known as El Mencho, was born in the town of Naranjo de Chila, Aguililla, and is wanted in Mexico and the U.S. Now, landmines planted by rival gangs in the surrounding areas killed one person and injured others in the recent weeks. Now, army vehicles and landmine detection team are patrolling the town. El Mencho, who leads the Jalisco New Generation cartel, has been on the run for years. His gang is one of the most powerful drug cartels in Mexico and is believed to be behind attacks on Mexican security forces, such as a 2015 ambush in Jalisco, which left 15 officers dead, and an attempted assassination of the Mexico's city's police chief in 2020. It is Starr Radio UK. It is their favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 13 minutes past the top of the hour. Get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate, and get yourself, in a very good situation whilst we still continue to bring you some of the stories making the rounds. Remember, exactly at 12:45, we'll be having HRH Linda Pallien, who will be joining us all the way from Cyprus to bring you the Career 101. Okay. A fugitive have been caught after a 12-year manhunt. Now, where was he hiding? Australian police have arrested one of the country's most wanted fugitives following a 12-year manhunt. Graham Porter, 64, had been on the run since 2010 after he failed to show up in court to face conspiracy to murder charges in the state of Victoria. Now, police arrested him on Monday morning after they were told he was thousands of kilometers away in Queensland. Now, footage of the arrest shows him standing in a dilapidated room before being handcuffed and taken away. Now, convicted killer Porter had earlier been sentenced to life imprisonment in 1981 for the decapitation and murder of a teenage girl. He was released after 15 years of his sentence. On Monday, he was arrested at 8:45 local time, that's 23:45 GMT, at a house in Ravenshaw, in far north of Queensland. When he went into hiding, Porter was facing federal charges over an ecstasy and cocaine haul worth $440 million, in addition to the conspiracy to murder charges. There have been several unconfirmed sightings of him across the country since Bat police had reached a dead end and in their search for Porter in 2017, according to Australian outlets, the Age. But well, now that they called him, well, there was a bounty on his head, a bounty to the tune of 100,000 Australian dollars. Well, what does that amount to in pounds or in the US dollars? Well, whatever it is, he's being caught, and we hope that the full rigors of the law deals with him. Still coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Now, on the final segment, the Winter Olympic Games have closed. Now, closing ceremony marks the end of the 2022 Beijing Games. The story says that almost 3,000 athletes competed in the 109 events across 15 disciplines. Now, during the past 2 weeks, the International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach called for political leaders around the world to be inspired by the athletes' example of solidarity and peace. This unifying power of the Olympic Games is stronger than the forces that want to divide us, he said. Bach said the athletes had given peace a chance, with the comments coming amid rising tensions between Russia and Ukraine. Now, each and every one of you strive to achieve your personal best. We are deeply touched how you were wishing and cheering for your competitors to achieve their best as well, he said. You not only respected each other, you embraced each other, even if your countries are divided by conflict. Well, we know that the Western countries, most of the Western countries, the president or the leaders didn't attend the opening ceremony or were not there at all. We had Putin, who was there during the opening ceremony, and you know, it seemed to have like cemented the relationship between Putin and the Chinese leader. It's quite an interesting one there. When it comes to the medal table, well, Norway had the top. They had 37. Germany had 27. China was third, had 15. United States was fourth, had 25. Sweden 18. In the UK, we did well. Last minute, we came out, we had 2 medals. So we did well. Yeah, a silver and a gold. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Congratulations to every one of you who participated in that event. Now, Jamal Edwards, a music entrepreneur and YouTube star, has died aged 81. Now, British entrepreneur and YouTube star Jamal Edwards has died at the age of 31, his company has said. He was the founder of the SBTV, an online urban music platform which helped launch the careers of artists like Dave, Ed Sheeran, and Skepta. Now, Edwards is the son of a singer and Loose Women presenter Brenda Edwards. Now, who said she was completely devastated. Born in Luton, Edward was appointed an MBE for service to music in 2014. A pioneering figure in British rap and grime music, he also became an ambassador for the Prince's Trust, a youth charity run by the Prince of Wales, which helps young people set up their own companies. He attended the Brit Awards earlier this month and was understood to have performed as a DJ at a gig in North London on Saturday night. No details have been released about his death other than it happened on Sunday morning. Now, Edwards first got into filmmaking after his parents gave him a video camera as Christmas present when he was 15. His mother said he was an inspiration. And after the devastating death of Jamal, our thoughts are with Brenda today. She sends us this message. It is with the deepest heartache that I confirm that my beautiful son Jamal Edward passed away yesterday morning after a sudden illness. Myself, his sister Tanisha, and the rest of his family and friends are completely devastated. He was the center of our world, and let me say, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Okay, so Starr Radio UK, it is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's take a musical break, and once we come back, we go to the African continent to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds there as well. And this time around, something cover version of Bobby McFerrin's song Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Hello everybody, we bring you a video today from
okay,
and we're going to play Don't Worry.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might wanna sing it, no fun, no, don't worry. Be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, but be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed.
In your car, at work, at home, on your smartphone.
Now be happy. The landlord say
This is Starr Radio UK.
He may have to litigate. Now don't worry, no, just be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Cash, ain't got no style, ain't got no girl to make you smile. Now don't worry, yep, just be happy. Ooh. Cause when you worry your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. Now don't worry, yeah, just be happy.
friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 12:25. And it's the Monday edition of the morning show. Of course, I am Archie. So we have got another few minutes before we have HRH Linda Pallien joining us exactly at 12:45 to bring you Career 101. Career 101. And let me take this opportunity to say good afternoon to Mr. Dave West and to your lovely wife Jenny. Jenny, I hope that you are feeling much better this morning. Okay, all right, now let's move on to some of the other stories, as I said, making the rounds on the African continent. Yes, so what is going on there? What is going on there? What is going on there? Now, you know, we like eating hide. Popularly known as wele when it comes to Ghana. So you go to buy your rice or your wache and all that, and they have the wele in there. But there is a problem here because some stories coming through saying that, well, this wele that people seem to be consuming, some of them are said to have had some chemicals that been used to clean hides to be used as a leather in there. So the story says Nigeria authorities say they have seized up to 120 tons of imported animal hides and skins in Lagos City. They were intercepted on suspicion that they were already processed with chemicals for use in leather industry, yet they were being sold as foodstuff. The National Food and Drug Agency, NAFDAC, said in Nigeria, cow hides are cooked as popular delicacy known as pomo. And it's not yet clear from which countries they were imported from. NAFDAC said even 7 suspects have been arrested. It added that the raids on warehouses were carried out following several complaints by members of the public regarding the distribution and sale of such products it described as dangerous. Now, how true is that? How true is that? Is it that they brought it in to be used for leather? Okay, processed for leather usage. And then the people thought, you know, the best way to sell it is just to use it as foodstuff instead, and never brought it to the market and started distributing it. Well. Now, Mozambican authorities have seized up to 11 elephant ivory tusks in a residence in the western city of Tete. Now, 2 people have been detained in connection with the case. The tusks were in a sack and weighed about 47 kilos, that's 103 pounds, and were to be sold at about 16 pounds a kilo, the police have said. Now, the 10 suspects have denied involvement in the crime, saying they only brokered the sale. The country's National Criminal Investigation Service spokeswoman, Selena Rock, said police officers pretended to be buyers so as to arrest the suspects. Now, last month, the police seized up to 50 elephant tusks from a house on the outskirts of the capital, Maputo. Now, such cases are common in Mozambique and many do not come to the attention of the authorities, even as poaching remains a threat to wildlife. Unlicensed slaughter of any protected or prohibited species is punishable by penalties ranging from 12 to 16 years imprisonment. I hope that investigation is done so that the right culprits are incarcerated. Okay. Well, in Zimbabwe, dozens of Zimbabwe opposition supporters have been detained. At least 80 supporters of an opposition party in Zimbabwe remains in detention after they were arrested in the city of Masvingo over the weekend. They were rounded up ahead of a rally in the capital Harare on Sunday, which launched the Citizens Coalition for Change (CCC) party campaign for parliamentary by-elections next month. The party said it is not clear if they've been charged. The CCC is led by Nelson Chamisa, the former leader of the opposition movement of Democratic Change, now which has suffered numerous splits since it was founded more than 2 decades ago. Now, thousands of Mr. Kamisa's supporters, many wearing t-shirts in the party's color yellow, gathered to greet him in Harare as the party held its first big rally ahead of the by-elections. The elections in March are for nearly 30 parliamentary constituencies as well as local authority seats. Now, Zimbabwe's ruling ZANU-PF party began campaigning earlier this month. So what is going to happen? Well, why were they arrested? They were supposed to be in a rally. Were they misbehaving? Were they breaking any laws or any rules? Well, we'll be following it very, very closely, and as and when, if possible, once we have somebody, we have some correspondents in Zimbabwe or that part of the world. We try to see whether we can get any further information from there. In Ethiopia, Ethiopians in Kenya hold demo over missing businessman. Who is this? The Ethiopian living in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, are holding demonstrations against the alleged abduction of a businessman 3 months ago. That is Kenya for you. What happened to Nnamdi Kanu there? Now, something Michael was taken out of his car in the broad daylight by people believed to be police officers. His whereabouts remains unknown, and the Ethiopian embassy in Kenya has asked the government for information about him. Mr. Sampson's business are in the oil and gas industries, and he was reportedly from a meeting when he was abducted. Here, there are some of the pictures there, but and people demonstrating, posing the pictures, but it's a sad one. So if they know his whereabouts, they have to make sure that they make sure he is safe. As I said earlier on, it happened in Kenya when the rendition during the rendition of Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, now a final story before we go to Ghana. Zambian artist behind Pope's gift says it is humbling. Zambian sculptor and art teacher Sydney Sisangu says it is humbling that his art piece have made it to the Vatican. Mr. Sisangu is making headlines in Zambia after 2 of his sculptures were given to Pope Francis at the Vatican as a present by President Hakainde Hichilema last week. Now, first and foremost, I am humbled and greatly appreciative, especially for the publicity. It is a normal feeling because my works are in many high-profile places. The pieces are part of his latest series dubbed Our Legacy. For example, my name may have already been known probably with the Vatican because of some commissioned work at the headquarters of all Jesuits in Africa and Madagascar. Others included late Magafuli's Tanzania's former president of Botswana, King of Morocco, King of United Arab Emirates. So the feeling is normal, except that this has a wide publicity, he said. That was a congratulations to him. You might not know. Your gifts will make place for you in high places, and his gift has made that for him. Well, we've got about another 11 minutes to bring the first part of the program to a close. That will be going to all the way to Cyprus, where we have our one and only HRH Linda Pallien there, who'll be joining me on Career 101. The jail, the radio presenter. Okay. Oh gosh, he's got a big tummy. Now, Power FM broadcaster Hineba Boama Benny, who was jailed for 2 weeks for his claims against President Akufo-Addo and judges, has been released from prison. Now, he left prison this morning. Now, the Maverick broadcaster was given 14 days jail term on Tuesday, February 8, 2022 by the High Court in Accra after the Attorney General charged him with contempt. Well, would that silence him? Would that change his mind or his take on issues that is in court? Now, the court, presided over by Justice Elfrida Denchi, also fined the broadcaster an amount of 3,000 Ghana cedis. In a ruling, Justice Elfrida Denchi held that Ohineba Boama was guilty of the charge against him and that she was charitable with the sentence. The Attorney General dragged Benny to court on December 2020 for contempt of court. It was the case of the Attorney General that the declaration of President Akufo-Addo as president-elect by the Electoral Commission, Benny allegedly published a video on his Facebook wall claiming that the President Akufo-Addo had met with the 8 justices of the Supreme Court led by the Chief Justice and had influenced them. He claimed the president used the supposed meeting to influence the justices of the apex court to rule in his favor in the event of any election petition challenging his re-election as declared by the EC. In the said video, he allegedly said Ghanaians will not allow the justices of the Supreme Court to destroy the country and urged the military to stage a coup d'etat. Now, you don't have to say the word coup d'etat in Ghana now. You say it, you will be apprehended, you know. And that seems to be the story now. The Attorney General makes a case that through his publication, Benny wants to tell the public that judges, including the justices of the apex court, decide cases not independently, but by taking directives from the president. Is that true or false? Are they doing something to save face? What actually happened on that front? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. It's your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, let's move on. Let's move on to one other story before we take a break, and then we'll be bringing you the one and only HRH, Linda Pallien. Now, interestingly, robbers attack Kumasi-bound commercial bus. The victims of robbery incident stranded. Now, some 40 passengers traveling from Atakoradi to Kumasi are stranded at the Anyang Kwanta police station after the bus they were traveling on was attacked by armed robbers. Now, according to a report by some news networks, the passengers were attacked by a gang of 5 armed robbers at around 3:30 a.m. Today. Now, one of the passengers who spoke in an interview said that their journey commenced at Abembe Bom station in Apremdo in Takoradi at 10:30 p.m. She noted that while on their way, their bus with registration number, which will not be applicable here, was stopped by the gang of 5 rifle-wielding robbers who were all masked up. At around 3:30 a.m., about 5 armed robbers with rifles and other weapons attacked us and made away with our monies and other belongings, all of them wearing masks, she narrated to host to a radio network. According to the victim, identified only as a queer, the robbers, after taking possession of monies and items belonging to passengers, asked that their victims intercede on their behalf in prayer, as becoming robbers was not the subject of their will but circumstantial. Wow. So the armed robbers were pleading to those that they robbed that you pray for us. We don't really want to do this, but because we find ourselves in a desperate situation, that's why we have to do that. But well, what a sad story. What a sad story. So what do you think is the way forward for the country as a whole? How do we deal with such issues? It is All Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The final story before we take a break, and then we'll have HRH Linda Pallien joining us. A member of parliament who absent her or himself for 15 straight working days without permission risks losing their seats. That is the situation that Dome Kwabenya MP Sarah Joasafo finds herself in, with sources stating that moves to declare her seat vacant will be triggered this week. Now, one of the officials saying that he stated that some members of the majority caucus has hinted that she will be reported formally to the Privileges Committee for onward action. According to Kwesi Parker Wilson, the official records shows that the MP has been absent for the whole of 2022. He explained further that MPs with valid reasons for being away are usually recorded as absent with permission. There are some MPP MPs who are attributing the delay of the passage of the e-levy to Adwoasafo. In fact, today they are saying that that was the 18th of February, 15 parliamentary sittings. She has missed 15 sittings. Okay, it is Star Radio UK. Do you think that is a fair thing to be done to her? Somebody will say, well, if she's breaking the laws or the rules, fine. But if she's not, and they're just trying to get her out so they can get someone in who will do their bidding, then we have a problem. But that is how it's going to be. That is where I bring the first part of the program to a close now, when we wait for HRH Linda Pallien to join us. Our discussions I'm talking about, but we'll be having HRH Linda Pallien joining us, and she will be bringing you Career 101. When it comes to anything pertaining to your career, that is a program that you have to listen to. Well, she's got the books that she's selling as well, that she's written, that are on sale. Well, you can get the virtual ones, or if you want to get the hard copies, feel free, you can also get those ones as well. But stay tuned, don't you go away. Quick commercial break, and then I bring it up music whilst we wait for HRH Linda Pallien to join us. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
UK. In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
It's a disgrace. Where is the dollar? 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 Give gorilla bananas to give to monkey.
Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. For the time now, 10:46 from the hearts of London. That means that it's time for Career 101 with the one and only HRH Linda Pallien, all the way in Cyprus. And let me say good afternoon to you, lady. Linda, I can't hear you. I think you are muted.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah. We are doing very, very well. We can hear you now. Yeah. We are doing very well. And you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. How was your weekend?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic. Nice and sunny.
Oh yeah. All right. You see, guys, that's what she does to me. You know, just telling me how nice and sunny it is there. But well, we were bracing ourselves for some units and Franklin. But we are doing very well here as well. Good.
Wonderful.
Yes. Okay. Now, what are we looking at today?
Today we're looking at how to sell yourself in terms of features and benefits. How to sell yourself or your skills in terms of features and benefits.
Okay. Features and benefits. Okay. Well, you want to know more about that? She is the resource person and she is here. So listen to her. Make ears. All right. So how do you sell yourself in terms of features and benefits?
Okay. Fantastic. Well, we're addressing this because in every situation you're selling yourself, especially when it comes to careers. For your job interview, but for a promotion, on a day-to-day basis, you're constantly selling yourself to your colleagues, to your employer, to clients. So it's important to know how to do it effectively. And a lot of us who are trained in sales understand that for product, but it's not every day that it's applied to yourself and your skills, which is why we're discussing this on Career 101, to really apply this sales tactic to yourself and your skills. So to begin to sell anything, you need to know the product, understand it, know it inside out. That's how you can sell it. Because if you go to a salesperson and they don't know about the product and they have to check everything and they're not sure what it does and you lose interest really quickly because they don't know what they're selling, so they can't convince you, and it's the same when we're buying online as well. We're looking for reviews, we're looking for a detailed description, what it does, and if it doesn't say anything about it, what the product is made of or what materials, again, we lose interest. So it's the same with yourself and your CV and your skills. You really want to give as much detail as possible, relevant detail to whatever it is you're applying for or whoever it is you're trying to convince. So definitely the first thing to notice, know your worth. Know your worth. I'm worth this much. And you can calculate your worth as a person, as a professional, through the skills that you've got, the experience you've got, the knowledge you've acquired, how much you've invested in this particular field. All of that sums up your worth, plus your perceived value in the marketplace, which is your salary, how much you get paid for it. So all of those are great indicators of how much your skills are worth in the marketplace.
Okay, so would you a quick one on that front? Would you say that knowing yourself would be something like having your CV exactly? I mean, enumerating stuff like that. Would you match it that way?
Yes, your CV is part of knowing your worth because it lists everything that you've done. But again, a CV is 2 pages, and if you have a lifetime of 50 years, 40 years, 20 years even, that's a long time with all the skills and everyday experience we get. So a CV is a very short summary of it, but this is why you need other documents like your portfolio, this is why I'm hot list, or the compliments, your references. All of those help you to know your worth, plus of course how much you're getting paid. And sometimes if you're being underpaid, it's better to peg your worth to the value of your skills in the marketplace. So if you think I can do the job of a manager, then that is your worth. So you can peg it there, because sometimes the market isn't fair and you're being grossly underpaid. So it's up to you to realize that and not let that become what you think your worth is.
Okay, but is there a case where somebody can overvalue themselves, and that can cause them when it comes to looking for a job?
Of course, there's a lot of delusion out there, and it's important to be honest with yourself. The easiest person to lie to is yourself. If you've learned stuff in theory and you haven't had much practical experience, then of course your worth will differ. And of course experience teaches you more than anything, and doing it rather than just knowing the theory of it. So a lot of young people coming straight out of university, or people that think, oh, I've watched somebody else do it, of course I can do it. It's regardless of however easy it looks from the outside, it's never.
It's never. When it comes to reality, it's never that easy.
Yeah, it's never that easy. People think, oh, I just start a business, and all they do is drop shipping, for example. And they just find a few products and put it on Amazon. They don't even have it, and you don't know the workings behind it, where they're answering emails and doing hours of research and all of that stuff. So definitely, if hands-on experience will give you a true value of your worth, and also the time dedicated in mastering the craft will give you a more accurate perception of your value, rather than what you wish to do or what you think your skills are worth. That's a great question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, listeners, HRH Linda Pallien for you. Linda, please go on.
Awesome. So we were talking about knowing your worth, so understanding how what you're worth, and then of course being able to communicate it in the most effective way. And that's what today's topic's about, knowing your worth in terms of features and benefits. So it's not enough just to know it for yourself, but you need to be able to communicate it effectively, so that your boss, who's giving you a pay rise or a promotion, or the new employer, can understand exactly how your skills benefits them. Okay, so in terms of features and benefits, I'll explain that into what that means when we're selling products, and then I will show you how to relate that to your career. So let's say the features of a product is all the technical aspects of it. You know, it's brown, it's blue, it's this long in circumference, or this much in diameter, it's this tall. All the technical aspects of it, you know, the facts about it, it's very descriptive. And in some ways, that's what your CV is, or your resume. It's facts. I studied here, I went this, I did that, I got this certificate. These are unchangeable aspects about your skills and your career to date. So that's a feature of an item. So it's the noteworthy points. What is it? Who are you? What have you learned? What are your skills? And then the benefits are why it matters to the customer, how it works. Ultimately, that's what makes them purchase it. This is what makes the employer hire you. It's the why behind it. It's why the feature, why the skills, what you studied matters in this job. It connects the dots for them. So you can say, for example, I studied Print 2, or I done C++ qualification, or I've studied journalism. Why does it matter in perhaps a marketing job? Because my experience in journalism makes sure that I can ask the right questions, I can research properly, I can I understand communication, and therefore I can apply it in marketing to be able to communicate effectively in advertising a product, in doing an analysis of a campaign, whatever. So you're connecting the dots for the employer, and that's where the benefits comes in. It's not enough to, and especially I see this at interview stage where you've already read the candidate CV, they're in front of you, and they're telling you exactly the same thing that you
are reading from there. Yeah.
So you don't learn anything new about the candidates, and it's a missed opportunity to be able to really sell yourself. So understanding how to convert those features that you've put in your CV into benefits for the company or the hiring manager or whoever is giving you the promotion or pay rise is really important. And people respond positively when they're given a reason. If you need any reason why to communicate in benefits. If I say, I'm going to get an iPhone 13, that's a statement. If I say, this iPhone 13 is going to help me make the best vlogs or take the best pictures, which will then boost my Instagram, which will boost my followers and convert into sales, then there's a justification for why you're getting the latest iPhone or whatever it is. So understanding that given a reason would help an employer buy into what you're selling. And when you're at an interview, you're selling yourself. So let's not make sales a dirty word. I know a lot of people are still scared of the word selling, but that's ultimately what we're doing. And just because you know why your product or your skills will make the employer, will be useful to the employer, doesn't mean they know.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
A lot of people say, oh, well, I studied marketing and this is a marketing job, so I'm qualified for it. It doesn't work like that at all. It may be the same words, but again, they've got completely different. They use completely different skill sets, or they're looking for something else. They might be looking for the personality. They might be looking for communication. They might be looking for team building, or you fitting into the team. So just the fact that you've checked a few boxes doesn't mean that you're the right fit for it. So you really, again, in speaking in benefits, you want to explain why this helps them, why this makes you the best candidate. And that's about it.
Yeah, okay. Now, interestingly, let me ask you a question pertaining to that. Do you think that maybe, you know, when there are people who are, apologies to listeners, it seems my camera is frozen, but just bear with me. When it happens that you are having, you are in an interview, or call it you are doing a presentation, you are selling yourself. Now, is it better to do it visually? You know, because once you have your CV, you know, it's just a short written statement of what your achievements have been so far. But if you back it up with maybe a visual thing where you've had a time to actually go through it step by step by step, but not being too comprehensive, but at least making sure that you package it very well, that I mean, actually covers everything that you want to present. Do you think that will help in this case?
When you say visually, are you talking about making a video? Video. Okay. Yes, but not necessarily. There's two things there when you were asking the question. As many of the five senses you can involve, the better it is for learning anything. And it's the same for learning about someone or understanding someone. So if you can use touch, smell, sight, taste, all of the senses, it helps. Auditory, it helps to make you sticky in their mind. When it comes to CVs, and your question, a video is definitely worth more than just the written document, because of the video, that it's more experiential. You get to fit a lot more in. It's easily digestible, and it's generally better than reading. But the constraint is that you might not have a laptop available or an iPad to be able to show, or they might not have the time to watch it there. And if you're in a panel with 10 people and you're going to show them on your little phone,
that is a no.
You're irritating them more. Or if you're sending them a link to click.
Yeah, I wouldn't have time to do that.
It doesn't always work in sessions. But if you come prepared and you've requested and a screen to be able to show to them, again, that could really work in your favor. So it depends how it's done as well.
Okay.
And then another way of visually is doing graphs, doing adding colors, maybe colors, all of that. So the more you can pack in, the better. But know the audience.
Yeah.
And if you're going to use a lot of graphs and then it becomes too analytical, then you'll lose everyone else who's not an analytical learner.
Yeah.
So being able to balance it so that there's a bit of talking, there's a bit of facts, and then there's more detail for the analytical people. So if you do that, that's awesome.
Covering all the areas so that everyone in there will have a bit of satisfaction in there.
Yeah. I've seen it's fashionable these days to have all of these 5-star ratings and bar charts on TV. And I think the old-fashioned soul in me thinks it's very lazy. It's very lazy and very ambiguous, and I personally don't like it. If you tell me I've studied, for example, English language, and I've done my ECDL or my IELTS, and I got this point, and you want to demonstrate it visually, fine. Because then I have an international scale to work with. But if you're telling me that your knowledge of typing is 3 out of 5 stars, well,
what does that actually mean?
it makes no sense to me. And I just think it's such a lazy way of communicating. It's very ambiguous and ineffective. And I've seen a lot of communication and they put 3 dots, or don't do that, please. Just write. I mean, if I would rather it be numerically and gone 8 out of 10, 10 being proficient, and whatever, and especially language skills as well. So again, understanding that the ultimate aim of the document is to communicate, and if they can, it leaves room for doubt or it raises more questions, don't put it in there.
Okay. Wow. Listeners, another wonderful presentation by Linda this afternoon, and today we were looking at how to sell yourself in terms of features and benefits. Have you benefited from it? Well, if you've not, then I think you are living on another planet, But if you really want to go up when it comes to your job front or your career, then this is very, very important. You have to be listening to these programs. The podcast is going to be ready in the next few minutes. However, there are resources that she has come by or she has written that will help you. We are here not to just sit on just like any day and just have a discussion. We could have done other things to make ourselves happy. However, we think that it's very important that especially our kind will be able to rise up in our careers and in our profession, and that is why we bring this program to you every Monday. But she's got the books, and let me ask you the question: is this also in the book?
Absolutely. I just closed the page. It was it was taken from the Career Success book about selling yourself. There's a whole chapter on it, and about how to come to understand your worth, how to rank, what to feature, what to benefit. So this is definitely a comprehensive manual for those people that want to sell themselves or excel, get a pay rise. I mean, this is a good resource before going into an interview or going to a salary negotiation. And it really helps you to be able to crystallize your idea so that people can buy into it and you don't get shaken or beaten off your path by one little objection. We even talk about objection handling in this book as well. So if they say, well, you're overqualified or underqualified, then you've got responses here as well that will help you in the book.
It is a very good resource, but if you are listening to us, Linda will just sum up quickly what we have talked about today, and then she will talk about the books. They are there, they are available. But you know, our kind, let me say good afternoon to BB Clement. She sent a post yesterday, and I looked at it and I said it's true, because we just look at the cover of a book, we just look at the cover of it, and we finish. But what is in there, the details in there that will help us, we never want to look at it. And so we seem to be, let me say, cheating our own selves. But I don't want it to be your story. So Linda is going to sum up, and then to talk briefly about the books as well. Over to you, Linda.
Fantastic. Today we've been talking about selling yourself in terms of features and benefits. And wherever you are in the world, you know, it's the same human behavior, you know, when it talks about selling and convincing someone that you're worth their time, you're worth the scholarship, they should give you that internship, they should give you that apprenticeship, they should invest their time in you, even if it's a volunteering opportunity. You need to be able to convince them why it will benefit them as well as you. Okay, you're the one that needs it. So the quicker you learn how to sell yourself effectively, the more opportunities and doors that opens for you, which is why we've been talking about selling yourself. We spoke about not just listing the features, but the benefits as well. And I'll give you an example, actually. I had someone on Facebook Marketplace, I was selling a printer. And this is a really good printer, and I didn't need it because I had just bought another one. And they offered me half price. And a lot of people wanted this printer, you know, I had so many messages. But this one person said, hey, I'm a student, I'm studying this at this university. This printer will really help me out, and I can't afford your asking price. But if I can offer this, you would really be helping me out.
Wow.
It's completely different to, I need a printer, will you take £20?
Yeah.
You know, and
appealing to your emotions there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but also what they're going to use it for. You know, and that's the difference between someone going, no, it's not what it costs triple the price.
Right.
Why would
I?
Or okay, fine. I mean, it may be true, it may not be true.
Yeah.
The point is communicating so that you get the job or you get the opportunity. So when we're talking in terms of benefits, how does it work? Why does this matter for the end user? People all respond when they're given a reason. These are all the reasons why you need to communicate in benefits as well as features. Features are important because if I need someone who's got a minimum level of English, no matter how much great Swahili you write, it doesn't help. Once you meet the minimum criteria, then which are the features, this, that, then you want to talk about benefits and speak in a way that will convince them that you have their time.
Wow. Okay, now let's talk about the books, please.
So if you want to better your career prospects, improve in what you're doing, then definitely these resources are very helpful for you. There's 3 books on careers and business as well. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur, don't let the title deter you. It's really, really self-starting entrepreneurial stuff that's broken down so that you can advance your career or your business at whatever level, even if you're just thinking of starting it. Book 1, How to Career, will help you assess opportunities and entrepreneurial opportunities. Book 2 will help you grow at the stage that you're at. So if you're moving from one pay level to another, if you're looking to change opportunities, then it will help you sell yourself, how to network, how to create opportunities for yourself, how to speak with impact and communicate with impact, how to think outside of the box. So career success is all of that in a package. And then of course the workbook will keep you on track on your goals. Whatever your goals are, you outline it there. At interviews, you'll be able to plan all of your questions and answers before you even get there. Objection handling, you'll face that. So these 3 resources together will really help you in whatever it is you're trying to achieve professionally and personally as well. So definitely they're available on Amazon. all around the world. It's available on Bookseller. It's available on Nielsen Waterstones. Google it, Career by Linda Pallien, and you'll be able to find it, and sometimes in bookshops near you as well. So definitely let me know. And if you can't find it at all, definitely contact me, and I will be happy to send you one. My website is lindapallien.com, or you can contact me, hello@lindapallien.com. I'm also available on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn @Linda Pallien as well. So definitely get in touch. Linda Pallien is spelled LINDAPALLIEN.
Wow. Linda, let me say very thank you very much for this wonderful presentation once again. I hope that our listeners are listening in and will use it, the information that we put across, to better their jobs or their businesses or their professions or their careers, whichever is applicable. I hope that they use it to better themselves. But let me say thank you very much for another wonderful day.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Have a lovely day. We catch up later.
You too.
Right. Bye. Well, listeners, that was HRH Linda Pallien this afternoon. And once again, she's brought you a smasher of a discussion there. And today we had the privilege of looking at how to sell yourself in terms of features and benefits. Now, you don't want to sell yourself short. You don't want to, again, overprice yourself that people think, forget about it, I don't want to know. But you want to be able to bid or sell yourself such that everybody sees it. It is a good price, though expensive, but we think we need whatever expertise that this individual has got. Make sure you get your hands or lay your hands on any of the books that she's put across. And like I said earlier on, the podcast is going to be ready in the next few minutes. Well, it's gone 12 minutes past 1, and this is where we bring in the program to a close for today. Now, this afternoon or this evening, exactly at 5 o'clock, the On Point Show will be coming your way, and then lots of music coming your way this afternoon as well. And then this evening, exactly at 10 o'clock, the Conscious Reggae Time too will be coming your way with Dave West. Okay, so this and a lot more. If you are selling, if you want to, a platform to be able to sell your information or anything, or sell yourself, just contact us on Starr Radio UK. Yes, our rates are very affordable, and I promise you we'll give you a good deal out of that. Whether you are a preacher man, a preacher woman, you are a business entity, whatever area that you want to, maybe you want to explore, doing something online, why not get in touch with us and we'll help you on that front. So on that note, let me say thank you very much for joining us today. Have a lovely afternoon. Until I come your way tomorrow, it's been me, Archie, saying bye-bye for now. Enjoy this song from the Zongo Man once again. Say, where is the dollar? Yes, I brought the dollar to you. What about that? Bye.